Hey everybody, welcome to JLB Sports TV. I am Justin Block, and today I'm bringing you my Liverpool season preview. I know Liverpool have had their season underway for the past couple weeks, but I wanted to put this preview out after the transfer deadline window. I think if I had put the preview out a couple weeks ago and, all the deadline deals have happened, this preview would be, not up to date, and I wanted to make the most up-to-date Liverpool preview as possible. We're only a couple games in the season, and I feel like this is still a very timely matter. Heading into the season, Liverpool have a new manager and a totally new squad, totally new football philosophy. Brendan Rodgers is bringing his tiki-taka passing style play to an 8th place Liverpool squad last season, and he's brought in the players that he wants for the most part. He brought in Joe Allen, who's been a linchpin in the midfield, very key for Liverpool. Fabio Borini, a striker that he really desired. He also brought in Nuri Sahin, another deep line playmaker, a good midfielder for Liverpool to have. And he also brought in Assaidi, which is the first bench option, impact sub, tricky, fast, pacey winger that we've had since the Yasser Benayoun and Ryan Babel days. Of course, the big departures this summer were Maxi, Dirkout, Craig Bellamy, but I'm fine with that. Those were all borderline starting 11 bench players. They were all out, and fresh starters were brought in. But the biggest loss this season has to be Andy Carroll. Although he would only be a third striker this season, Brendan Rodgers actually rated him technically, saying just because he's a big guy, that doesn't mean he wouldn't be able to play. When Andy Carroll left, we all thought another striker would come in. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened, and Liverpool are now stuck without Andy Carroll and without a legitimate third striker. That's what happened this summer. I'm going to go position by position and break down what Liverpool have for this upcoming season. In goal, we have Pepe Reina, the stalwart at goalkeeper. In my last video, I actually talked about how every season since Pepe Reina has been at Anfield, his save rate has actually declined. And I think we're seeing Pepe Reina on the decline. Some matches, I do think that he will be sort of the stud of the game, the MVP of the match, and he will single-handedly keep Liverpool in the game with saves. But too often this season, in the past couple of years, he's had howlers that have really cost Liverpool matches. So I think we'll continue to see an up and down year for Pepe Reina, but even with that, I would still rate him in the top half of goalkeepers in the English Premier League, if not the top 10 or 5. In defense, we have Martin Skrtel and Daniel Agger returning at center back. Just good to see them back. Both of them were linked with moves away from the club. It's very important to retain that center back duo. That duo was among the best in the Premiership last year, and they should be again this year. Backing them up, I expect Sebastian Coates to get the majority of starts over Jamie Carragher. Coates is a younger, he's more fleet of foot, and frankly, he's had better games in the games that he started over Carragher. At left back, we probably have the most left-footed player in the entire world in Jose Enrique, a player who likes to get forward. But again, compared to left backs of the past for Liverpool, I'd take him. And of course, we have England's right back, Glenn Johnson, always darting down the wing, somebody who was always good for a couple of goals every year, a couple of assists. His runs down the right side of the wing have been very great for Liverpool, although he leaves much to be desired in defense far too often, as we saw last game against Arsenal. I think midfield would be the deepest position for Liverpool this year, with Nuri Sahin in there, Joe Allen, when Lucas returns from injury. That's a deep 3 guys right there that are competing for basically 2 spots. Of course, we have Steven Gerrard. He has had a rough start this season, but I do think that he will even things out. But basically in midfield, what Brendan Rodgers wants to do is that he wants to have sort of a destroyer, a passer, and then he wants a creative player. In that destroyer, he wants guys to make interceptions, make strong tackles, and give the ball to the passer. And that passer in midfield is somebody that's really going to dictate play. He'll spray the ball out wide. He'll really control the tempo of the game from that role. And of course, we have the creator, who's sort of given a free role to go run forward and support the front 3. So in that destroyer role, I see Lucas when he returns from injury, or for now, Joe Allen. And so that passer role, Nuri Sahin, and that creative role, Steven Gerrard. Now, continuing with the 4-3-3, up front we will see Luis Suarez as the inside forward. I don't think Brendan Rodgers will change that. Everybody's been shouting for Luis Suarez to move out wide. I think he will remain as the creative inside forward. That's what Brendan Rodgers wants to do. Luis Suarez's role as the inside forward isn't only to score goals, which we expect him to do, but his main purpose in the attack is to create for other people on the outside. Luis Suarez hasn't done that thus far, and I think Brendan Rodgers will have to give him a talking to rediscuss what he has to do at that position. On the right, I expect to see Fabio Borini stay as a winger. I know he's more of a poacher than a true winger, but under Brendan Rodgers' system, he will be a poacher. He will have inside runs for Luis Suarez to deliver balls for him. It's really up to Suarez to create chances for Borini from inside out. In the left wing, we've seen Stuart Downing supplanted by Raheem Sterling. I expect Sterling to stay there. He's had stellar performances throughout. He's the one player this season, besides Joe Allen, who's really been the shining light. Raheem Sterling has direct play, plenty of pace about him. Really the true legitimate wing threat that Liverpool have missed and that Rafa never had. Of course, on the bench, we have Assaidi, who I expect to be a sort of an ace off the bench, somebody to be an impact sub, tricky, pacey, a good wing threat. We have Jordan Henderson, who I think will step in as sort of a passer role when injuries happen. Henderson will get plenty of time. We're in 4 competitions this year. Again, midfield is an area of depth for Liverpool. With all the competitions this year, there will be plenty of spots and minutes open for players. But the biggest concern for Liverpool this year has got to be at striker. They have Luis Suarez, Fabio Borini and Adam Morgan, Danny Pacheco, some weird combo right there. As of today, Liverpool have yet to sign a backup striker. I know they're thinking about signing some veteran free agents. I won't mention who, but Liverpool are certainly looking at them. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool stick with what they have right now. For me, the squad is deep in all the other areas except at striker, which will be a concern. For me to win the Premier League or to even finish top 4, you need to have at least 3 starting quality strikers. Liverpool have 2. And even if you don't think that Borini's quality, or if you don't think Luis Suarez is a striker, those are the players at the striker position that Liverpool have, and they only have 2 of them. So that will be a huge concern going in to this season. I think the midfield depth will help make up for it and other deficiencies in the game. I think Liverpool are deep in other areas, but again, striker, big position problem right there. Well, I do think not having a 3rd striker will be injurious to them. I don't think it'll be enough to really, prevent them from finishing top 6 or top 5. So given all the players that Liverpool have, given that it's Brendan Rodgers' first year, this will be a very rough year. There will be many highs and many, many lows. Expect more lows than highs probably. Again, I said this a million times. You probably saw it on Twitter. You've seen articles about it. We need to have patience with Brendan Rodgers. I don't want to see any Brendan Rodgers out tweets. Have patience with this guy. I'm confident this is the man to lead us to the top again. I mean, the guy wrote a 180-page manifesto on what he wants to do. I mentioned that in previous videos. Who even has the time to do that? This guy sat down and had the confidence to write a 100. He basically wrote a small book to deliver to the owners to express what he wants to do. This guy is smart. He knows what he wants to do. And given the time and given the resources, he will do it. I have confidence in him. And you should too. Oh, and no more FSG out too. Just please no. I know everybody's skeptical about them because of what happened on deadline day. FSG is an organization that took Liverpool out of the brink of administration and brought them to have an outside shot of top 4 this year. So right there, they've done good. As a sport management major, as somebody who lives in the United States and follows baseball and knows the Boston Red Sox, FSG is probably one of the most respected sporting institutions or organizations, or they're really just actually a holding company, but there's one of the most respected owners in all of sports. I know some Red Sox fans are sort of negative on them because of what happens with the Red Sox the past couple years, and the fact that Red Sox fans don't like them that they bought Liverpool. But what FSG have built with the Red Sox, which is a successful, sustainable organization that has money, they will do the same with Liverpool. FSG are smart, they're businessmen, and they will win titles for Liverpool, given the time. Just, again, time is all I can say. If you honestly don't have the patience for Liverpool right now, go support City, be my guest. I have patience with the owners, I have confidence in the owners, and you should too. Now, my key player for the season will be Joe Allen. We've seen in the first couple games, he's been my stud of the game. He controls the tempo. He really is the heart of what Liverpool wants to do in attack and in defense. Without Joe Allen, Liverpool will be lost. I thought Lucas was the most irreplaceable player and somebody who Liverpool have missed, and they certainly do miss, but I think Joe Allen is just as important, if not more important, than Lucas. Now, the 2 big storylines for the season will be Steven Gerrard and Luis Suarez. I don't know if they'll be able to fit in with what Brendan Rodgers wants to do, because they're such individualistic players and they create for others, but they need the space to do what they have to do on offense. I don't know if there's room for that. They'll have to reel in a bit and sort of conform to what Brendan Rodgers wants to do, and I'm not sure if they're either willing or have the ability or the mindset to even do that. Both will be given free roles to operate how they want to within the team, but at a certain point they have to reel it back in and realize that they need to work for the benefit of the team, not just for their own creation. So Steven Gerrard getting old, Luis Suarez coming off what was a mixed season last year. Those 2 guys will be key for Liverpool this season. If they can get it together and do what Brendan Rodgers wants them to do, Liverpool have a legitimate shot at top 4. Legitimate. So that's all for today with JLB Sports TV. I'm Justin Block. This was my Liverpool season preview. My official prediction for Liverpool this year is 5th place. On the website, I wrote an article, it was a column summing up what I think the big storyline, the big thesis in the Premier League is this season. Check it out, glbsports.tv. I give my full table predictions there. My official prediction with Liverpool is 5th place. Again, that's probably overly optimistic. Every single year I give a prediction with Liverpool, and it's usually wrong because I'm overly optimistic, so maybe if you want to take 5th place and knock it down a couple, 1 or 2 places to be more realistic, fine, but I think Liverpool will finish 5th this year. Give me your thoughts on where you think Liverpool will finish. If you think I'm being too optimistic, just any general thoughts on the season we have ahead of us. That's all for today, guys. YNWA, keep the faith, and my motto this year is shut the fuck up and support, and that should be your motto too, because without it, Liverpool are nothing. Support the club, support the players, support the manager, and best of all, support yourself. Best sign of the season for me. I guess that's really it. Overall, as a team, they weren't very good, but I'm going to say this. They're called growing pains for a reason, and this will take time.